Good evening, dear professor. This is my presentation about my research proposal. Maybe you haven't seen me before because, I had never attended the online classes. But, nice to meet you. My name is Ana Maía Valero, and this is my research proposal, which is the role of Centro Democrático Party in the current Colombian social protest. So, let's get started by the introduction. So, this is the introduction of my research proposal. So, first, I wanted to give you a social background and a context, why this is happening and why I wanted to explore through sociolinguistics the all this ongoing that is happening here in my country. So, the social protest started in 2019. We have like more or less like 3 years with these protests, but everything has been in the mid of the COVID pandemic, so it has been a little bit tough because the trigger that happened here was that the former president Iván Duque, he launched some reforms to taxes and health insurance. And these ones were like the most triggers, like the highlight triggers to start with the protest. And as well, there were more problems like social leaders, murders, and corruption, and all those things. So this generate, like in general, the social protest here in our country. So, as I said before, this happening in a mid or in the middle of the COVID pandemic. So here in my country, it has generated a lot of poverty, unemployment, and a lot of social concerns that, now, like, people, they are a little bit tired of this. So what is my idea here in the social proposal, in my research proposal, sorry. What is expected to analyze? So in the front of the protest, in the front of the protest have arisen a lot of political opinions, and one of these political opinions has happened or has been shown by the members of a wing party, political party, which is called Centro Democrático. This party is the ruling party, the ruling government party, and is one of the most right, powerful parties here in our country. As I said before, the president is Iván Duque, and the leader of this party is Álvaro Uribe Vélez. So what is my idea here? My idea here is to discover how these opinions, the opinions and the discourses that these leaders manage, uh, influence and impact in the social protest. Why? Because these people have some ideologies related to the communism and socialism. It's a bad thing. Yep. So everything that is against of the government is communist or socialist, or something called Castro Chavista. That is like a very famous trend here in Colombia. So, this is the first thing that I wanted to analyze. And the other thing that I wanted to analyze is how the receivers receive those political speeches. So, I think that through this, what they want to do, the Centro Democrático Party want to do, is they hegemonize ideas about why the protest is bad and why this is called like a communist or socialist. And maybe they don't want to show that this one is a problem that has to be solved, because, people need some change here in Colombia, and there are a lot of demands that they are very logical for this time in our country. So that is the thing that I wanted to analyze. I wanted to analyze the ideology of them, how the speeches that they have reflects on ideas and the ideology that they have, and in this way they stereotype and gives like a bad denotation or a bad a bad meaning about the social protest. So, well, as you can see over here is a stereotype and how negatively they impact the social protests, well, to the public opinion and to the people that listen and receive these kind of speeches. So, well, more or less, this is my research statement. So, is how the political party Centro Democrático introduced the image of the protesters and then demands to the public opinion. So this is like what is expected in my research. So, well, more or less here you can see kind of example that I gathered from internet. So as you can see here, this is more or less one of the chunks of speeches from Álvaro Uribe Vélez. As you can see here, he is in favor of the police forces here in Colombia, which they have been acting very rude and brutally against the protesters. But later on, I hope and I wish later on develop deeper in my research. And in the other image, as you can see, is a kind of example that how the people that they are biased to Centro Democrático are are reacting right now. Like they are reacting saying that they are gente de bien, and people from the protesters they are like they are people from guerrillas, they are communists, they are vandalos. That is a very used word here by these people. So, what is the importance of this research? The importance to this research, the first intention of this research is to know or to get to know to what extent the Centro Democrático Party influences in the social protest and how they image the protesters to the public opinion and how that public opinion react and behave through speeches in order to make the protesters seen make them see as bad as a bad issue and not good and not a good thing for the development of the country. So, well, beyond this like this first element here, I I wanted to show to the readers, for example, you that you are a foreigner and the local as well, what is really happening here in Colombia. This is just like a glance or of what is happening here and what is happening like years ago, and why people they are triggered and why people they are protesting right now. So I wanted to show through this like period of time here in my country, what is happening here in Colombia, and as well I wanted to give you and I want to give the readers uh, tools to make them feel why this is happening here, but in a critical way. Yes, I don't want to make anyone biased about yes, this is necessary or no, it's not necessary. But I just wanted to give people, the readers, I want to give like the necessary tools to think and to make a critical thinking about this concern and this issue. So this is my objective. The objective is to identify the language meanings and explore how political parties and democratic species shape the images of the current social protests and demonstrators, and how its ideology impacts in the discourse of the receivers and the reactions towards the social protest by analyzing video recordings and posts in social media through the use of critical discourse analysis. So here, my intention, well, as I said before, my intention is my intention here is to know how these speeches of Centro Democrático affects the social protest here in Colombia. And I wanted to analyze this by three sources that afterwards I'm gonna explain you. I'm going to explain you, and I'm going to use as a principal approach the critical discourse analysis by Van Dijk. So, well, this is my hypothesis. My hypothesis is that the members of the Centro Democrático, they are using the rhetorical speeches of them. They are using that as a presuppositions to know, well, to stereotype the protesters, and to make them see as bad people, as people that they want to make like a communist or social factors here in our country, which I think it's not true, but well, I think this is the hypothesis. Well, and in order to convince and manipulate the receivers about their ideas that the government right now it's okay and everything that they are doing it's okay, but the protest is just for something that it's something that just some people or few people want to do because they don't have anything to do, because they have relationships with guerrillas here in Colombia, because they have Castro Chavistas ideas, which is for them this is really bad. So this is my hypothesis. My hypothesis is that Centro Democrático is give the protest a negative like face. So this is like my hypothesis here. And later on, I have my research questions. How do the political speeches of the Win Right Party Centro Democrático introduce and influence the image of current social protest in Colombia and its actors to the public opinion? So this is like the question that I got here. And later on, well, I am continue with the methodology. So as I tell you before, well, the methodology that I'm gonna use here is like a qualitative analysis, because I think that all the meanings that I'm gonna gather, of course, the speech is gonna have like they are going to have different denotations, but maybe with a very same meaning. So that's why I think this is the qualitative analysis, a qualitative research. I'm gonna focus this on the critical discourse analysis by Van Dijk. And here I wanted to focus on the ideological square that says that, well, like uh, to sum up, it's more or less like says that, says that this ideology is very good, that Centro Democrático is a very accurate way to thinking and is a very accurate way to carry out the country, but the negative one has in the people that is against that ideas, right? So this is why I'm gonna use the ideological square. I'm gonna analyze the speeches of the members of Centro Democrático against or in favor of the social protest, about the social protest. Identify how the ideas or the political ideology stereotypes the protesters. So I wanted to know how they stereotype and in that way and manipulate that the ideology that they have, it's really accurate. And as well, I want to analyze the reactions of the receivers, because I think this is really important. This is how the emanation starts. So I wanted to analyze as well these speeches. And as a final thing that I wanted to analyze, I wanted to analyze is analyze the counterparts meanings, the discourses of the people that are against the Centro Democrático and they are in favor of the protest, in order to make comparisons, right? In order to make comparisons and get to know how these stereotypes help the others as well to make cognitive structures that maybe they are the vagos, they are the people from guerrillas, and the others they are gente bien, they are like the good people, in all those things I wanted to analyze in order to get the stereotypes and the meanings that the Centro Democrático has. And finally, this is my data collection. So I wanted to analyze like many resources, of course, and but I think by these resources, I'm gonna have a very good analysis and get to and I'm going to have the objective of this research. So I'm gonna look for social networks, and here in social networks, I'm gonna analyze two social networks specifically, which is Twitter, because Centro Democrático members, these parties, they use this social network several times. They use it, like the most that they use is the social networks, the sorry, that Twitter. And as well, I'm going to analyze Facebook in some profiles and some accounts, like for example, as you can see, verdaderos uribistas. So here in this group, well, there are a lot of posts against the protest and against all the things that they are against the Centro Democrático. So this is the first thing, and as well to Twitter, because well, here they post the most triggered in the most like outstanding things about the ideology, their ideology. So that's why I'm gonna use this. As well, I'm gonna analyze news. They are I'm gonna analyze news against the Centro Democrático and favoring Centro Democrático. As you can see here, open democracy. So here you're gonna see this headline, and as well Revista Semana, because well, this is, I think that this is one in favor of it's in favor of Centro Democrático, but I wanted to analyze here in order to get some chunks of speeches from Centro Democrático. And finally, I'm gonna analyze as well the videos in where leaders from this political party, they speak, like as you can see here, for example, from news, Caracol Noticias. So you can see las distancias de la negociación. So as in my paper, you can see a little bit deeper this. And as well, a counterpart, which is La Puya. This is a girl that is she's on favor Centro Democrático on all their ideas. So that's how I'm gonna just try to understand and try to analyze my research proposal. So well, I think that maybe I hope that I didn't have anything left. Sorry. Well, this research proposal was a little bit tough for me because, well, this is something that I'm really like, but no, but I don't know too much. But I hope that I didn't miss anything. And well, that's it. Thank you so much for your attention. Well, and I'm gonna looking forward to your comments, and thank you so much and good night. Thank you so much.